Imagine a place where there are no rules, no authorities, and no government oversight. A place where you can live entirely on your own terms, independent from the usual constraints of society. Welcome to Slab City, often called the last free place in America, a community located deep in the California desert. Slab City is a haven for those looking to escape the restrictions of modern life and live outside the grid. Here, you'll find people living without electricity, running water, or even basic infrastructure. For many, it's the ultimate expression of freedom, an oasis in the midst of one of the harshest environments on Earth. However, this lifestyle comes at a cost. The freedom offered by Slab City is not without its challenges. The lack of basic services means that residents must be self-sufficient, relying on their creativity and resourcefulness to survive. There are no safety nets, no backup plans, and no guarantees. What appears to be an idyllic, off-the-grid existence is often a daily struggle for survival, and the cost of freedom can be high. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the world of Slab City, exploring the unique challenges and the resilience of those who call this place home. We'll examine the environmental hardships, the lack of social services, and the strong sense of community that binds these individuals together. But stay with us, because one of the last facts we reveal will surely surprise you. Something that even the most hardened skeptics may find hard to believe. So make sure to stick around until the very end. Welcome to World Marvels. 10 Women in Slab City. Slab City is a place of many contrasts, where freedom comes with its own set of challenges, especially for women. The community's absence of traditional societal norms means that women are often given the space to carve out their own identities, far removed from the expectations that exist in mainstream society. For some women, Slab City offers a rare opportunity to escape toxic relationships, abusive pasts, or simply the restrictions imposed by traditional gender roles. Here, women can build their own lives, create art, or even start new businesses, free from the prying eyes of the world. But living in such an isolated and rugged environment also presents its own set of challenges. Without access to basic services like healthcare and law enforcement, women must deal with safety concerns and the constant threat of isolation. In such a place, women must rely on each other for support, often forming tight-knit bonds with other residents. For some, this strong sense of community offers a level of protection and solidarity that is vital to their survival. However, this same freedom comes at the cost of vulnerability, as the absence of a formal social structure means that women in Slab City have to fend for themselves in a way that many are unaccustomed to. 9. The absence of law enforcement. One of the most defining features of Slab City is the complete absence of law enforcement. There are no police officers, no courts, and no official system to rely on in times of trouble. The idea of living in a place free from government control may sound appealing to some, but it also presents significant challenges. Without police or legal recourse, residents are left to deal with conflicts and issues amongst themselves, often in ways that can escalate quickly. Disputes over property, personal issues, or even theft can go unresolved for long periods, leading to a climate of tension and mistrust. This lack of oversight also means that safety is a constant concern for residents. Without formal law enforcement, many individuals in Slab City take it upon themselves to maintain order. For example, some keep weapons nearby for protection, while others set up informal neighborhood watch groups to help deter crime. However, the lack of police presence also makes it difficult to address more serious issues, such as violent crimes or medical emergencies. Residents have to rely on their own resourcefulness and the support of their neighbors to manage these situations. While this may seem liberating for some, it can be terrifying for others who find themselves in situations beyond their control. 8. The role of community. Despite the absence of formal laws, community remains a cornerstone of life in Slab City. The residents of this place often come from very different backgrounds, yet they share a common bond: the desire to live independently and without interference. In such an isolated environment, cooperation and mutual support are essential for survival. With no access to modern conveniences, residents have to work together to share resources like water, food, and fuel. The sense of camaraderie in Slab City is vital for many. People help each other build homes, provide medical assistance, and offer emotional support during difficult times. The community acts as both a safety net and a refuge, where individuals can find solace and reassurance when the outside world feels distant or unwelcoming. For many, Slab City is more than just a place to live. It's a family. The strong relationships between residents provide a sense of belonging that would be hard to find elsewhere. Despite the many hardships they face, the people of Slab City have forged a unique and resilient community that thrives on cooperation, shared values, and mutual respect. 7. Environmental challenges. Living in the desert comes with a set of extreme environmental challenges that test the ingenuity and survival skills of Slab City's residents. The harsh conditions of the California desert can reach temperatures over 110 degrees Fahrenheit, 43 degrees Celsius during the summer months, with no natural shade or cooling systems to provide relief. The heat is relentless, and those who live here must find creative ways to stay cool and manage their daily tasks without the benefits of modern infrastructure. Water is one of the most precious resources in Slab City, and its scarcity presents a major challenge for residents. With no running water, residents must find ways to collect and conserve water, often relying on rainwater harvesting or driving long distances to obtain it from nearby towns. Every drop of water is carefully rationed for cooking, drinking, and bathing. This careful management of resources is a daily reality for those living here. In addition to the extreme heat and water shortages, the desert environment also poses risks to health and safety. The lack of sanitation means that residents must find their own ways to dispose of waste and keep their living spaces clean. Without access to medical services, any injury or illness becomes a serious concern. Some residents rely on the community for medical care, with others offering their skills as doctors, nurses, or medics, but serious health emergencies can still be life-threatening due to the distance from the nearest hospital or clinic. The brutal desert conditions force residents to be resourceful and adaptable, relying on ingenuity to make the most of what they have. From building homes out of recycled materials to using solar panels for electricity, Slab City is a testament to the resilience and creativity of those who choose to live here. But despite all the innovation, the environment remains a constant challenge that requires constant vigilance and effort to overcome. 6. The price of freedom. When people first hear about Slab City, the idea of living without rules, restrictions, or bills may sound like the ultimate dream. A place where everything is free and everyone is free to live however they want. However, the reality of this freedom is much more complex and comes at a significant cost. Freedom in Slab City doesn't come with the conveniences most people take for granted. There's no electricity, no running water, and no safety net for those in need. The absence of these basic services means that residents must rely on their creativity and self-sufficiency to survive. For some, this is empowering. They can build their own homes, grow their own food, and live off the land. But for others, the price of freedom is steep. The lack of infrastructure makes it difficult to stay healthy, keep clean, and live comfortably. In many ways, living in Slab City requires an incredible amount of ingenuity. Residents often use recycled materials to build their homes and find ways to generate electricity using solar panels or old batteries. They must also make do with limited resources like water and rely on their community to get by. While some residents thrive in this environment, others find it difficult to cope with the constant struggle to meet basic needs. In the end, the price of freedom in Slab City is not paid in money, but in hard work, resilience, and a willingness to live without the safety net that most people have in their daily lives. 5. Living without modern conveniences. One of the most defining aspects of life in Slab City is the absence of modern conveniences. There is no electricity from a power grid, no running water, and no waste management. This may sound like a nightmare to some, but for the people of Slab City, it's just part of everyday life. Without access to electricity, residents must find creative ways to generate power. Many use solar panels to provide energy for basic needs, like charging cell phones or running small appliances. Some even use old car batteries to store energy. Water is another precious commodity. Without a municipal water system, residents rely on rainwater collection or long trips to nearby towns to purchase water. Each drop is carefully rationed for cooking, drinking, and bathing. To get by, many residents have developed innovative solutions to make the most of what little they have. Some use composting toilets or build makeshift showers using old pipes and buckets. While these solutions may seem primitive, they are essential to surviving in a place where modern conveniences are non-existent. Living without modern conveniences may seem daunting to most people, but for the residents of Slab City, it is a way of life. They have learned to adapt to their environment and find ways to thrive in a harsh, unforgiving landscape. For many, the challenge of living off the grid is not just about survival. It's about reclaiming control over their own lives and creating a lifestyle that aligns with their values. 4. Slab City's unique economy. In Slab City, there is no formal economy. There are no stores, no currency, and no businesses operating in the traditional sense. Instead, the economy of Slab City is based on bartering and trade. People exchange goods and services directly with one another, whether it's food, water, tools, or labor. This barter system creates a sense of community and interdependence, as residents rely on each other to meet their needs. For some, this barter system works incredibly well. Residents can trade their skills, whether it's carpentry, plumbing, or art, in exchange for necessities. Some residents even offer a glimpse into their unique lifestyles by allowing tourists to visit in exchange for food, water, or other supplies. This system is a far cry from the conventional monetary economy, but it allows people to survive without the need for cash. However, the lack of a formal economy also means that life in Slab City is uncertain. Since there is no money, there are no financial safety nets. This makes it difficult for residents to plan for the future or make long-term investments. The barter system is highly dependent on the availability of goods and services, and when resources are scarce, it can become more difficult to meet basic needs. Despite these challenges, the economy of Slab City is built on a foundation of self-sufficiency and resourcefulness. Those who live here have learned to rely on their skills and creativity to survive. In this sense, the economy of Slab City is a reflection of the community itself, resourceful, resilient, and fiercely independent. 3. The importance of sustainability. In a place like Slab City, sustainability is not just a buzzword, it's a way of life. With no access to municipal services and limited resources, residents have no choice but to find ways to live sustainably. This means being resourceful, reusing materials, and minimizing waste. Residents often build homes from recycled materials like scrap metal, old vehicles, and discarded wood. Some even create art from found objects, turning trash into treasure. One of the most crucial aspects of sustainability in Slab City is water conservation. Water is extremely scarce in the desert, and residents must carefully manage their supply. Many use rainwater collection systems or travel to nearby towns to buy water, but even then, they must ration it carefully. Living sustainably in Slab City means finding ways to make the most of every resource, whether it's food, water, or energy. In addition to recycling and reusing, residents also practice sustainability by growing their own food. Many residents cultivate small gardens, growing vegetables like tomatoes, peppers, and beans. This helps reduce their reliance on outside sources for food and ensures that they have access to fresh produce. While it's not always easy, sustainability in Slab City is a necessity for survival, and many residents take great pride in their ability to live off the land. 2. The struggles of isolation. Slab City, while offering the allure of complete independence, also comes with a heavy price: isolation. The community is located deep in the desert, far from major cities, and its remoteness can be both a blessing and a curse. For many, the appeal of Slab City lies in its ability to offer a sanctuary from the stresses of modern life, a place where they can escape the demands of society and be left alone to live on their own terms. However, this isolation often brings with it feelings of loneliness and disconnect. Living in such an isolated place can be emotionally and mentally challenging. While the close-knit community provides some sense of connection, it is still far removed from the rest of the world. Many residents are living in Slab City to escape their pasts, to find peace, or simply to live authentically. But in doing so, they sometimes find themselves further distanced from the support systems and connections that most people rely on. The lack of access to family, friends, and professional support can take a toll, particularly when mental health issues arise. For some, isolation becomes a constant battle, with the only social interactions happening within the confines of the small community. On top of that, the harsh desert environment itself can exacerbate feelings of isolation. The heat, the dust, and the intense solitude can create a sense of being cut off from the rest of the world, where the nearest grocery store, medical facility, or even cell phone signal can be miles away. This isolation can also make it difficult to maintain relationships, as residents may feel disconnected from the outside world and reluctant to venture beyond the boundaries of Slab City. Yet, despite the emotional toll, many choose this lifestyle, finding solace in the independence it offers. Slab City becomes both an escape and a place where they can create a new life, far from the expectations of society and free from the pressures of conventional living. For them, the price of isolation is a small price to pay for the freedom they've gained. 1. The future of Slab City. The future of Slab City is uncertain. As more and more people are drawn to this unconventional way of life, the community is facing challenges that threaten its very existence. While Slab City has thrived for decades as an oasis of freedom and independence, the pressures of growth, environmental change, and increased attention from authorities are starting to take their toll. One of the most significant challenges Slab City faces is the growing population. As more people flock to the area in search of a life off the grid, the once small community is becoming overcrowded. This influx of new residents places strain on the already limited resources available. Water, food, and space are becoming harder to come by, and the infrastructure that was never built to accommodate large numbers of people is beginning to show signs of wear. With no formal government or oversight, managing the growing population and maintaining order is becoming increasingly difficult. Another major concern is the environmental degradation that is taking place in the desert. The harsh conditions that make life in Slab City so difficult also contribute to the degradation of the surrounding land. Drought, extreme temperatures, and limited resources all create a fragile environment. As more people continue to move into the area, there is a growing risk that the delicate balance between survival and sustainability will be disrupted. The constant struggle for resources, coupled with the threat of climate change, may eventually make it impossible to live in Slab City the way it has for so long. Perhaps the biggest threat to Slab City's future, however, is the growing interest from external authorities. Local governments and state officials have long turned a blind eye to the existence of Slab City, but as its population increases and its presence becomes more well-known, the community is beginning to attract more attention. There are concerns that new regulations or laws may be enforced, limiting the freedoms that have long been a part of life here. The very essence of Slab City, which is rooted in independence and freedom from government control, could be compromised if outside authorities intervene. Slab City represents a rare form of freedom, one that comes at a high cost. For those who choose to live there, it is a place of survival, creativity, and resilience. Life in Slab City offers the ultimate form of independence, but it also brings harsh realities, such as the struggle for basic resources, the challenge of living without modern conveniences, and the isolation that comes from living in such an extreme environment. But the question remains, is it worth the price? For some, the answer is yes. The freedom to live on their own terms and the sense of community are priceless. For others, the sacrifices may be too great, and the challenges may be insurmountable. Whatever the case, Slab City will continue to exist as a symbol of human resilience and the desire to break free from the constraints of society. What do you think? Could you survive in a place like Slab City? Or do you think the price of such extreme freedom is too high? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can stay updated on all our future content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Stay free, stay creative, and stay resilient. Goodbye for now.